banking. So I'd like to call onto the stage Mr. Dilek Duman from Denizbank and also Mr. Yakup Doğan from Yapı Kredi. We will be talking about the innovation in Turkish banking. Thank you. 3 tane sandalye alalım mı buraya? Ayakta bekletmeyelim. Hoş geldiniz bu arada tekrar. Günaydın.
Merhaba.
So I think we can start as long as the chairs are coming. So I have some basic questions for you to understand the change in Turkish banking and also the innovation in Turkish banking. So I'm going to ask a simple question. I think it's going to reveal the whole fact in the banking. So what is innovation from your perspective, for the bank, from your perspective, from your bank's perspective?
Okay, innovation, in order to me, is the way how we are changing the lives of human beings. It's not actually just the customers, but also the bank employees. So this is the way how we are touching everybody. If we can improve it and we can have a better experience for any of us, this is innovation for us. So this is the definition coming from my bank, and we are approaching this topic in this way. In the market, we realized that everybody is just concentrated on the customer, but it's not actually just the customer. It is the whole working group. We are working together with the customer and with our employees.
I see, so let's carry on with you with the same question. So what is innovation from your bank's perspective?
Thank you. I think innovation to support your customer through his life journey beyond banking transactions by leveraging, intelligent and innovative solutions. If you can able to do that as a bank, you are able to change something. So that's the innovation from our side. But so why banking industry needs innovation? This is long discussion, but we need to understand what banking industry is going through, because at the moment we are going through one of the biggest transformation in the financial history. The good news for us, at the moment, there is no disruption or new business model in the financial industry. I mean, disruption like, some new innovations that have changed our daily life. For instance, iPhone, Amazon, Uber, Airbnb, they have changed and disrupt the business at their domains. But in banking sector, we are lucky. There's no disruption or new service model has approached yet. But there is something else. We should know that there is unbundling of banking services currently we are treated. So who are doing this? 2 parties. One is Fintechs, the other one is big tech companies. The main difference they brought to market is they are increasing the gap on the customer experience side. The experience we are delivering with the new innovations are lagging behind the big tech companies and the fintechs. So when the gap is getting wider, the only thing we have remains is the innovation. So that's why innovation is such a critical, not only the financial sector, but for everyone. But this is the existing and the current threat for the banks.
So to keep up with the necessities of customer and also to compete with other companies, as far as I can understand.
Yeah, but through the life journey of the customer, not limited with the banking transaction, banking services. Beyond that banking services, I think we will be talking about more ecosystem
Sure, we'll be talking about
and
that.
data type of thing.
I'll be coming to that point as well. So let's carry on. So you mentioned about innovation. So do you have a plan? I think you do, but maybe you could elaborate us on that subject. What is Denizbank's plan on innovation? Do you have a strategy? Do you have a plan for long term?
Actually, from the starting point of Denizbank, we established in 1997 from scratch. And we really concentrate on how we can differentiate the banking services for everybody. So we have an open platform. Its name is I Have an Idea platform. So everybody can contribute to this platform with their ideas, with their experiences, and it's very open, and it is coming from everybody. And actually our FD is actually putting a lot of effort with their ideas over there. And there is a jury which is defining, okay, which are the good ideas. And accordingly, we are changing our applications, our procedures, our business processes, our internal system, our external system. So it's a very powerful environment for us to learn from every experience and try to make it better together. So it's not just one people or one team, but it's the whole company working on that. And we are also gathering the information from our customer feedbacks. So for the customer feedbacks, we have an open platform again, and these feedbacks is very important. We are gathering and analyzing it in monthly basis to identify what may be a better step for the next month. So innovation is actually at the heart of Denizbank. This is the way how we became 20 years ago, and now we are one of the 5 biggest banks, biggest private bank. And in F1 2015, we were the global innovator of the year. We had the same prize from Bayer for 2 times. But it's not, it's endless story. So we are going every day, and we are learning every day. But the most important thing we believe is to differentiate the experience.
I see. So what is your point? What is your strategy? What is your plan on the innovation side?
Actually, as a bank, Yapı Kredi, who introduced first online banking in Turkey, we use, speech analytics first. I mean, innovation is in the bank's DNAs. But 3 years ago, we set a very strategic decision. We wanted to build the digital bank of future, and starting with setting up Digital Bank of Turkey. At that time, we realized that in order to achieve that goal, that vision, we have a couple of list of things we're missing. The most important thing was motivation. In order to innovate, you need to. Motivation is the cornerstone of the innovation. So innovation, the motivation was to become a digital bank of Turkey, to establish the digital bank of the future. The second critical one was the autonomy. Are we powered enough to take your idea into a project? So what we did, actually we established a failure budget. So this was, I think, one of the critical phases, because the famous, do you know John C. Maxwell, the famous quote, fail early, fail fast, but always fail forward. But this autonomy we have a, actually, if you have an idea, you have to go through an existing, as an incumbent bank, from idea to product delivery, it took minimum 6 to 1 year. So in order to speed up this process, we need to have something else, a new methodology, which is agile and with the scrums. So putting those three things together, I think we focused on three main areas as a strategic pillars of our innovation. Those are, data, the customer experience first at the top of, because we have to deliver seamless, elegant, instant customer experience, by using advanced data analytics and also design thinking. Data is critical because by using data, like Google, Facebook, you can make a hyper-personalized offer to your customers. Not only advanced analytics, but also AI and robotics. The last was the ecosystem, because we need to unlock new opportunities for our customers through their life journey. So putting all those things together, we have also created a program called Yapı Kredi, which includes gathering new source of information from internal and external. We organize a couple of internal and external hackathons, internal girişimcilik, internal entrepreneurship program, and together with incubation program for the fintechs that help us going through that direction.
I see. You seem to you really have a plan. So let's carry on with you just mentioned about the subject I heard from you, but let's dig a little bit deeper about open innovation, because I think innovation from just one side is not enough for these days, and also something maybe about ecosystem building. So what is your perspective on that?
Actually, as Denizbank, we have an IT company, namely Intertek. Intertek is an open company. It's not just for Denizbank. It is serving to 50 more other bank institutions. It's not just in Turkey, but we are in 10 countries. So we are not actually trying to keep what we have in our hands. We want to share it. Because we believe that building partnerships and ecosystems is the best way to go. In today's world, just keeping everything for yourself is not bringing you a power. It's a weakness. So we want to share it. We want to share any innovation with anybody. So with the help of the customers, with the help of this many customers, and with listening to not the Turkish citizens, but also the other countries' citizens, we are making the innovation together. Intertek has a lot of products which is driven by these customers, actually. So we are doing, in Intertek we have an ecosystem which is made up of 12 different companies. We are working at the same location at Turkey. It's in Technopark, and we are learning together. So this is not just a thing just started and ended up, but it's continuing. Every day we are trying to make everything better. We are trying to learn better. So it's not just keeping everything inside us, but we want to share it. And with the help of this ecosystem, actually, today we are benefiting a lot, not just with mobile apps. When you look at it as a customer, you can see just the mobile apps, but this is not the whole innovation. It is part of it. It's a small part of it. But within an organization, you have to also benefit from big data. and we are benefiting from it. How we are benefiting it? Maybe I can give you just a small example. You know, banking is giving credits to the customer. This is the good point. But we also have to collect it. This is the difficult part. And collection is a big problem for banks. But we define the problem in a different way. It's not just collecting the money. We define that, okay, we have to collect the money, but we also have to have less churn ratios. So we don't want to hurt customer when we are collecting the money. And we work on this complex problem together with also the universities, and we ended up with a unique solution. In this unique solution, we are benefiting from the big data, we are benefiting from optimization algorithms, which is optimize us the collection amount and the churn rate. Now we have less churn rates when you compare it with the previous years. Because you know, customers sometimes may forget about when they are going to pay. If you are harsh to collect the money, you can lose them. But in this algorithm, it is learning from probability of default, customer behavior, from which channel they want to communicate. So it's a learning algorithm behind, and it's doing the whole process for us. It's not just people, but it's the system, an AI system. So this is innovation, I believe. In this way, we are differentiating the customer experience.
I see. So let's talk a little bit about the change of the banks in maybe Turkey or all over the world. So I just saw your bios. I saw that you've been in a decade for that bank, in a decade or more so. So I think you are the right person to talk about the change in the banks. So where is this change going to after 10 years, and where is the bank that you represent going to be in that change?
Oh, do you have enough time for this? A very long story. So what's the change? Let's look at the two parties in this banking environment. I think first one is the customer. The other one is the environment. So based on the brand key analysis, customers are demanding 28% per year. So they want everything, fast. They want to access 24/7. They want transparency. They want, intimacy. If they have a problem, they don't hesitate even to go to the court. On one side, customers are becoming more and more demanding. So this is one part of the equation, very complex environment. On the second part, on the environment side, bank is not the only solution. So on the environment side, there are new players like fintechs and big tech companies. For the first time in the history, there are new advances in technology which can disrupt banking industry like blockchain and AI. And also new regulations on the place, PSD2. And there are more other barriers and more other regulations coming to the market. Based on the Harvard Business School's analysis, the environment is also getting complex, 6% each and every year. So in this situation, in this, putting all these together, there are also some facts. On one side, historically, as the technology evolves, we banks are reasonably good at, bringing new technologies and solutions to the customers, demand. But at this time, our competitors are quite stronger than we have by using, advanced data analytics, artificial intelligence and also, new emerging, new blockchain type of thing. But this is one part. So first time we step behind, we lag behind. The other fact is that there's a Citibank analysis saying that in the next decade, next 10 years, 1/3 of banking jobs will disappear. And also some analysis put the bar as high as the 50%. So this means 1 out of 2 banking jobs will disappear. This is not only banking issues, but there's also social consequences coming with it. So if we banks keep doing things as we do today, probably we won't be able to survive. So on one hand, margins are shrinking, as Lucas pointed out. We need to find new revenue streams. We need to open our platforms and systems. Going back to, I fully subscribe Dilek's comments on the open innovation and APIs, because if you see open banking as a threat, you will be one of those losers. But if you see open API, open banking as a new channel, new revenue stream, you can able to solve most of the problematic areas, or also you can share revenue. Banks are ready to share, data and revenues. On data's part, up to now, the customers' data were on the bank's, control. But with the new regulation, PSD2, this control will shift from bank to the customer as it should be. So if customer authorizes any other third party, so banks has to share this data to the third parties. So this is a totally new era, new platform that we are going through.
I see. So I have worked for banks for many years, not more than you, but change is easy to say, hard to do in the banks. So I know that I'm asking you the hard question, but from your perspective, what is the change in banking for maybe for 10 years, and where is Denizbank going to be in that change?
Today, when you compare with the history, change is very fast. In the history, you may be in the safe side to keep what you are, to keep on what you are doing. But today, we have the technology, we have the CPU, we have the customer demands. So we have to be very keen on how we can improve ourselves, actually, because customer demand is increasing high and high. So change for us is actually how we are connecting with the customer, how we are touching them, how we can create a value for them. This is the change definition. And with the help of this CPU power, this technology power, this AI power, actually we wanted to find out what the customer is willing to have, but prior that they realize it. So we want to benefit from artificial intelligence. And we want to put this artificial intelligence everywhere in the bank. Maybe I can give you another example. I'm responsible for banking operations at the bank also. And when you look at the banking operations, there are millions of transactions coming to the operations in daily basis. And the most difficult thing, actually, in order to create better experience, you have to prioritize these transactions. These transactions has SLAs, these transactions has cutoff times, so it's a complex thing. But with the AI, now we can put the correct work at the correct people at the correct time. which means that if somebody is doing some transaction faster than the other, this transaction goes through him. So in this way, we improve our SLAs, our customer experiences. So in the coming years, we want to utilize this AI technology more, and we want to use it to everywhere, not just in the touch point of the customer, but also inside the bank. And the idea behind it is actually to create a value for the customer. And we want to build ecosystems that can create a value for the customer. It's not just banking, as Yakup told. It is the lives of the customer and how we can create partnerships to create a value except banking services. So this is the way how we will go forward for the coming years.
I see. Thank you. So I think we can receive a couple of questions if I can see the sir behind. Do you have a microphone for him? Or? Bir mikrofon var mı arkadaş?
Good morning. I'm Melik Demirel. There's a good coincidence that the two banks that I'm working with, everything is virtually saluted as a digitalization, but I wonder that, especially in the branches, the main problem is 99% of the customers without ATM is still want a signed receipt. So in England especially, there's a solution about, for example, in the intro guy in the banks welcomes you, and just the irresistible offers will be accepted to inside and communicating with the clerks. Is there any solution in the banks also as a banking service? Because the main innovation about it, I just know the priority of business customers. Is there any solution without phone banking? Thank you.
For the branches, maybe one of you.
I can start. Okay, at Denizbank, actually, we changed our branch model. First of all, what we had done, in Turkey there are a lot of cash transactions, so the customer is still coming to the branch. But this is a valuable time for us. So for the tellers, we make them seller-teller. So when the customer comes to us, this teller also, according to the machine learning behind it, can offer additional products to the customer. And we see that our customers is very happy with that. We make the teller tables lowered, so the customer in front of them can sit and can chat with the teller, and they love it. So this is one way we differentiate it. And the other way we are doing, actually, as you told, we have meter greeters in some of the busy branches of Denizbank. So we see that this experience is also have a better value for the customer. They appreciate it. So for these crowded branches, this meter greeter take them, ask what they want to do, and they can lead them with the ATMs or some e-teller machines in order to them to learn how they can do that, this transaction by themselves, and they can help them with the full life cycle through the branch. So in Turkey, cash is still king, so we couldn't end up with using more digital channels. Okay, the usage of digital channels is increased a lot, but there are still customers inside the branch, and we try to make their life easier. This is the way how we are moving.
Thank you. Let's carry on, please. So we are running out of time. So if there's another question, maybe we can have someone. Yes, please. The gentleman just in front of the desk. Can we have the microphone there? Yes, please. Yes, please. There.
Thank you. My name is Asım Güvendik. I'm a bit curious about your innovative ideas about data quality and the processes on them. I mean, we have experienced lots of nice and niche ideas and offers from the banks in previous years, but also there are many irrelevant ones. And we also see them currently in today's lives. You mentioned about machine learning, data, AI, but all are on top of the data. And people, operation, other customer touch points, and all the processes behind the data is working on the quality. So what kind of innovative ideas have you implemented in previous years in your banks?
Maybe you would like to answer that question.
Thank you.
Actually, when I described the current status in the financial sector vis-à-vis the competitors, the biggest advantages of competitor is they can able to leverage data in order to deliver better customer experience. So they run their business over the data. Actually, they do not charge money for their services for their customers. They give it away, I mean, free. You know, there's a quote, if you are not paying for a product, then you are the product. In this case, they run their own business on better utilization of the data. In banking sector, up to now, data were treated as a byproduct. But now, with facing the truth, bank has plenty of millions of tremendous of data. For instance, in one single card transactions, we can able to track 25 different data items associated with it. I fully agree with you. I mean, that muscle, we have to work on it, we have to grow on it. That one thing we did on the business commercial side for the SME customers, I think it was first in the world. Last year we launched self-service world. We target the SME, our merchants, POS users. So we give them an access to utilize our card bases based on the age, limit, utilization, lots of data. So they can able to access our data and create campaigns together with, it's a good partnership with the bank. So offers are coming through Yapı Kredi, but associated with some of the merchants in Diyarbakır or in Denizli, targeting the customers around that region. Up to now, we have 10,000 SME companies, small and slightly larger companies started using this one. But by utilizing this platform, we have learned a lot. I mean, we failed, tested, we are trying to improving on it. But fully agree with you, we have to work a lot on it.
Okay, thank you. So I was willing to receive more questions, but I think we're running a little bit late. So thank you. Thank you for your comments. Let's keep up to the next stage. Thank you. Thank you. Very much.